Hey friend, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome back to Take a Little Break, Mama. I'm Lynne, and this podcast is a soft place for moms, especially the tired, stretched, thin ones. You know, the ones doing their best even when it doesn't feel like enough. Today's episode is special. It's about something that just happened to me. Something that made me tear up in the best way. You know, those little moments that hit you right in the heart. This one came from a 6-year-old, and it reminded me exactly why I started this podcast in the first place. So wherever you are right now, folding laundry, pushing a stroller, hiding in the bathroom for 5 minutes of peace, take a deep breath. Let's take a little break, Mama. It was a regular late afternoon. You know the kind. Snacks on the floor, a baby on my hip, and a toddler and her friends running around with enough energy to power a small city. We had a little friend over, a 6-year-old girl who comes by every so often to play with my daughter. She's a sweetheart, loud, curious, wild-haired, and so full of personality. I was in the kitchen bouncing the baby while trying to clear some dishes with one hand when she looked up at me and said with complete sincerity, "Hey, you should take a little break, Mama." I froze, my mouth dropped a little. Because this little girl had no idea that was the exact name of this podcast. She wasn't repeating something she heard online or something I'd said to her. She just looked at me, saw I was worn out, and spoke a truth that came from pure, childlike compassion. Take a little break, Mama. It hit me so hard I almost cried. I probably did tear up, because don't we all want someone to see us like that? To notice that we're doing a lot? To offer us that grace, to say, "Hey, I see you. You can sit down, you've done enough." And sometimes it takes a child to speak what we need to hear. That moment reminded me of exactly why I started this podcast. Yes, I started it because I needed it myself. I was in the thick of it, postpartum, overwhelmed, no sleep, and just holding on. And I couldn't find anything short enough, gentle enough, or real enough to keep me going when I needed it most. But I also started it because, well, before I became a mom, I was always doing something, running businesses, making moves, dreaming big, and chasing goals. And then motherhood happened, and all of that came to a full stop. I was at the gym one day with a friend, and she asked me, "If you didn't have kids, or even with them, what would you want to do right now?" And I blanked. I couldn't think of a single thing. It scared me. It saddened me. Because somewhere along the way, I had lost that part of myself. I wasn't sure who I was outside of diapers and snack prep and laundry piles. But as I sat with that question, this whisper came to me. I'd make a podcast for moms. Short ones, real ones. Ones that sound like a friend who gets it. And now here we are. And that 6-year-old just reminded me I'm still on the right path. She saw me exhausted and gave me the words I needed. Take a little break, Mama. I want you to hold that today. Not just because it's the name of this podcast, but because it's a permission slip. You're allowed to pause. You're allowed to rest. You don't need a milestone or achievement to earn it. You've already done enough for today just by showing up. So sit down for a second, or close your eyes, or sip your coffee while it's still warm, even if you have to reheat it 5 times. You don't need to keep proving anything. You're already worthy, already seen, already loved. Today's tip, practice receiving kindness, whether it comes from a friend, a stranger, or a 6-year-old. It counts. Let it in, let it speak to you, let it soften your edges. Sometimes the most powerful words come from the smallest voices. Here's one of my favorite quotes by Morgan Harper Nichols. "Perhaps you are doing better than you think. You are not a machine. You are a human being. And you are allowed to rest." Thank you for being here with me today, Mama. If this episode gave you a little breath of fresh air, follow along. Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And until next time, remember, take a little break, Mama. You're doing better than you know.